let's talk some more about what we know so far about the tides of corruption. And I want to start off with some of the weapons and go from there. So, new skin, Souls of a Feather. This is a Slate Riposte skin. Looks awesome. It's based on Scrapbeak, which is always so great. Derringer Penny Shot, yeah. Having a tiny little shotgun tool. I think it's going to be awful. It's going to be rubbish, but it could be really fun to play with. I think that's going to be really interesting. And then, yeah, we've got the Vesely Carabiner Cyclone, which I am super excited about, and I can't wait to play with it. Up next, we have a new throwing axe. So the Butcher axe is actually a throwing axe, which is so cool. I love it. I always use a throwing axe, so yeah. We then have the Springfield. Will
you fall into madness and join the ranks of those marked by the sculptor?
Get another look at it here in the second trailer while taking the altars. You can see it there. Yeah, I mean, it's great that Springfield's getting some love. I think that's it's an excellent gun, especially with the bleed. So also putting a stabby stick on the end. Ah, wonderful. And then, yeah, the uppercut with a dead eye. The uppercut with a stock and a dead eye. I mean, this is a little pocket sniper. I mean, I think this is going to change a lot about the meta. I think it's going to be really interesting to see really what they do with that and how they handle having an uppercut with a stock and a dead eye. Like, oh my god, it was already a pocket sniper anyway, let alone, yeah, we'll see what happens. And yeah, so let's jump into looking at the packs for the event. So we've got the Acolyte, which is the Demented pack trait. We then have
to restore the natural order of
Death pack trait, Witness, which I think is going to stop people from being revived. And then the Infernal pack trait, Blazeborn, which 100% is healing people on fire. 100%. Look at them there; they're just healed up. And I think that's going to be really interesting in the wildfire. Yeah, in the wildfire. For anyone who loves to run through fire with a bomb lance. Not mentioning any more names. And yeah, I think it should be super fun. But we also got recently a new roadmap, and I would love to sit here and go through that with you now. So why don't we dive into the roadmap? Roadmap 2023 to 2024.
Hi, I'm David Fifield, the General Manager for the Huntshowdown franchise, and we're following up our last roadmap chat to walk you through some of the near-term plans as we close out 2023 and give some thoughts on what to expect in early 2024. We'll be talking about the upcoming events, game features, controller and console updates, back-end networking improvements, and the CryEngine upgrade.
So straight away, there's tons of things to be really excited about. I love the fact that they're doing these roadmaps. I think it just really helps the community to have a clearer picture of, you know, what's going on and what they're focusing on. So this is a great event.
We started our latest trilogy of events with the Tide of Shadows in June. We are now preparing to deploy the second and third chapters of the trilogy across the fall and winter of 2023. We've had a great response to the new packs and trait systems that we update with each event. We plan to deliver more of these, mixing up some of the old ones and introducing new ones as we go.
So it's really good that they're like actually carefully considering the traits, and I think that really shows when you go from the last two events, the way they develop the traits and balance the traits. I think was an overall was a big improvement, and hopefully they can keep doing that and keep refining the traits so that they're still fun to play, and but there's a big option about what you choose. Like when they first introduced these traits, I think I pretty much focused on just grounded, and then this last event I ended up playing both grounded and for the life of me, I now can't even remember what the other one was. But I ended up playing two different traits or packs. Sorry, more. So yeah, I think the fact if they can get it to the point where all three traits are like genuinely viable and genuinely fun to play, and where you actually go up to the packs and you're like, oh, I don't know, which one should I choose? Like actually having a meaningful choice for all of the packs would be really good. So hopefully they'll do that this time.
A fiery wildcard map condition from last year will return with some tweaks and modifications, and the development is underway for an entirely new condition, but we'll talk about that more when it's closer to launch.
I love the wildfire maps. Just throwing that one out there.
October will have a Twitch drop campaign as we celebrate Halloween with a new hunter, weapon, and charm reward for viewers. These drops will also include another wave of crates to bolster your inventories and the event points that you get just for tuning in to watch.
I love that we're getting new hunters. I love that we're getting more Twitch drops, and it's actually better than the last time round. I am one of the people who like doesn't have, for example, I don't have Lulu. I would love to see those hunters come back, so I could get a chance to get them. I appreciate there's people who have them and don't want other people to have them, and yeah, that's fair enough. I get it, but it would be great if they did come back in some way.
We will soon offer an additional 25 hunter slots to upgrade beyond the current maximum of 50. The prestige system is also getting a rework related to the unlocking of weapons this year, and then some new reward schemes are planned for 2024.
So we work in prestige, but in relation to unlocking weapons, which probably means that they're gonna tweak how you like grind out weapon XP again. So that might mean that once you got them unlocked, I don't know what they're gonna do, and I don't know what they should do. And it's probably hard to speculate. But I wonder if they're tweaking things like, you know, if you've already got, say for example, you go and unlock the uppercut, you know, that's a relatively long grind to get the uppercut unlocked. I'm wondering if, you know, the next time you prestige, you get half your XP, or you've already got all the variants unlocked, or I don't know. Because it can be a pain prestiging and having to go unlock every single weapon again and again and again. And I know that's what a lot of people don't like. I don't mind it personally, but yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do.
Specifically, we will unlock more base weapon groups for both new and prestige players very early in the progression. This should reduce the pain of prestige somewhat, while next year we will be back with some changes around the rewards for achieving significant milestones up through prestige 100.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I should have listened. So they are going to change some of the base groups to make it easier. Okay, interesting. So you probably not be able to unlock them earlier, or I mean, maybe they might separate out some different variants, like for example, the uppercut in conversion is in the conversion. Like then maybe they will split that out because the uppercut's now getting its own variants, or I don't know. We'll see what happens. More rewards or more interesting rewards for prestiging, especially when you get into the, you know, 20 after 25, it gets a bit laborious. Yeah, that's good.
Challenge pools are being expanded and refreshed based on mountains of data and survey feedback from the first half of the year, always with a mind to be more engaging and encourage a variety of weapons and tactics in both exploration and direct combat.
Okay, here's my issue with challenge pools, or the challenges in general. I find it incredibly irritating when I go and I pick a couple of challenges to do. Fine, I'm doing them, but then I end up doing a challenge that I haven't actually chosen to do, but it's sitting there in my list of things to do, and it's like, that's incredibly irritating. Like I remember doing like the Billy the Hunter, whatever it was called, Billy and his Stalker Beetle quest line, and I had managed to get a kill, I believe, with the Stalker Beetle, and I had that task to do. However, I didn't have it active, and because I didn't have it active, it didn't trigger. And I was like, why give those tasks to do if you have to choose which one you're going to do at the same time? It would be so much nicer to the player to allow you to, if you've got a list of tasks, to just do them whenever you want. You don't have to activate them, quote unquote. Just allow them to do that. And if you want to restrict the number of tasks that they have in each stage, do that. You know, if you look at a game like Fortnite, they have all these tasks that you can do, and you can knock out, you know, I mean, they've got an enormous amount of tasks that you end up having to do, but you can knock out like 5 or 6 of them in a single game. And yeah, I think there's a balance to that, but I just find it irritating if I'm asked to do a task, but I have to activate it, but then I don't end up activating it and end up completing it, and it's just like, oh, that's really sucks.
Reworks are being evaluated to consolidate similar traits to a single version with wider application, such as moving the 3 separate Scopesmith traits into a single trait, as well as some better logic around the traits that newly recruited hunters start with.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Weapon inspection animations are a frequently requested feature. We are rolling them out in stages starting with our next update, 1.14. The first batch provides inspection animations for a subset of weapons and equipment starting with pistols, melee weapons, and some tools.
Get ready to see new thumbnails, that's all I'm saying.
Over time, more weapon groups and equipment will be given similar animations. Console controller and gamepad support is getting a major refactor. We're currently targeting the winter update for significant changes, giving players dead zone adjustments, as well as aim assist and acceleration options. Early next year, we'll follow those improvements with custom button mapping and a weapon wheel rework.
It's good. It's really good that console is getting some love. I know that's been a point of frustration for many consoles players for the longest time. So it's good that they're getting some love, and good that controller players are getting some love as well.
We're moving to a decentralized backend for all our services next year. This will allow for updates without downtime and prevent regional outages from spilling over or cascading across multiple servers. This change will also give quicker responses to inventory and bloodline interactions, both in-match and in menus. We are optimizing our network layer to improve the timing accuracy between players over the net. This should give notable relief on the common frustration points of rubber banding world positions, projectile path consistency, and the trade windows where players take each other out with painfully long delays between the on-screen deaths.
I mean, how many of us have sat there and traded, and it's like, oh, come on. I kind of started to accept trading because I was like, well, you know, if you're both fast enough at reacting, you know, you could have both hit the trigger and shot at each other. You know, I feel like trading is something that could potentially actually happen. If you were to like do that realistically, at the end of the day, it is something that could potentially happen. It's frustrating, but I feel like it's not entirely unrealistic. But the shortening the gap is going to be a lot better. So yeah, I really hope that they can get that infrastructure in place, and that should really help with a lot of these issues that a lot of people have.
Matchmaking will be refactored to address MMR volatility and allow partner duos to team with a third random player. Team voice chat.
I would love to know what that actually means, because MMR obviously is, since the Raid Chase stuff, MMR has been the biggest topic of conversation. I would love to know what he means by that and what they plan to do. I would imagine they've decided to plan to do this, but haven't actually really started on it yet, or started working out what they're doing. I guess just because they're saying they're going to refactor it, but there's no details yet on how that may actually work. I'm really hoping that they move away from, or not necessarily move away, but move towards more of a like actually extracting with the bounty, and mixed in with kills and KDA and all that kind of thing. But we'll see.
Functions will be changed to allow communication without broadcasting your comms to the enemy teams in your proximity, and voice communication will also work even when hunters are down or spread out across the map at far.
That's a bit of a shame. So, hold on. What he said?
Matchmaking will be refactored to address MMR volatility and allow partner duos to team with a third random player. Team voice chat functions will be changed to allow communication without broadcasting your comms to the enemy teams in your proximity, and voice communication will also work even when hunters are down or spread out across the map at far distances.
Okay, so I know why they're doing this. They're doing this basically because everyone who plays in a team is going to be playing in with Discord or open, communicating, and that's fine. So they're basically making it work like Discord, which, yeah, I can understand that, but there's something special about the communication in open, like, in the open world. And I hope they don't lose that. I hope you can still talk in world, because being able to talk to people, especially like calling in the side, is like that's kind of fun. As long as people aren't being toxic and everything, that can be a pretty fun thing to do. Maybe you can still do it when you're solo, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
We recently made the decision to forbid the use of Reshade, directing Easy Anti-Cheat to block anyone from launching into Huntshowdown with it active. We'll be taking even more steps to ensure fair play over the coming year, as we've recruited some key hires for a focused team countering exploits and cheaters, along with a more sophisticated handling and analysis of player reporting for toxicity, exploits, and cheating.
They're taking it seriously. That's good. I like it.
The Hunt upgrade to CryEngine 5.11 is still underway and planned for release in early 2024. As announced previously, Map 4 is coming next year with a new biome. Map 4 is being built as a showcase for many of the graphical and content upgrades in the new CryEngine, and will launch at the same time as the upgrade. This upgrade applies to both the PC and console versions of Huntshowdown, and will mark the official launches for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. We are also announcing today that with this upgrade, we'll be raising both the minimum PC and console specs that Huntshowdown will support. The important note for console users is that with the upgrade and launches on Xbox Series X and S, as well as PS5 consoles, the previous generation of consoles, such as PS4 and Xbox One versions of Huntshowdown, will no longer be available for play. The removal of PS4 and Xbox One support will not happen any sooner than April 2024, but is being announced now to give ample notice to any affected player.
So, yeah, okay. That doesn't surprise me with the upgrades. It's just a shame that they can't keep a separate server available for those who do play PS4 and Xbox One. And granted, look, this is the previous generation of consoles now. At the end of the day, this was to be expected. Anyone who is playing console, a lot of them are playing on PS5 and Xbox Series X now, so I can see why they've done this. It's just a shame that they aren't doing like a PS4, Xbox One without the upgrades, keeping that going for, till 2025. Another year. Give it a little bit more time. It probably wouldn't. It may not. I don't know what the numbers are. It may not be feasible for them to do it. They may not be have enough people who are still sitting on a PS4 or Xbox One. It may be just such an insignificant number for the player base that actually it's not worth their it's not worth the cost to run a server just for those people. But yeah, it's a shame, but not unexpected.
Happen any sooner than April 2024, but is being announced now to give ample notice to any affected players. In the same time frame, the PC min supported spec will be raised to an equivalent level as noted in the screen details.
Makes sense. I can still play, it's all good.
After 5.5 years of Hunt, we wrestled with the numbers and reviewed the install base. Among active users, these upgrades should impact less than 10% of the community, while greatly enhancing the experience for the other 90%. As part of the new console launches, a free upgrade path will be provided for players to migrate from the older console versions to the new upgraded versions of Hunt Showdown. No new purchase is required to make the transition, and player history, inventories, and DLC purchases are also carried over without charge. PC title IDs and game ownership will be unchanged with no transition or bridge needed. The first stage of publishing the upgraded engine version has support for DX12, FSR 2.1.2, direct storage, and HDR. And that's just the first stage. As we continue into the second half of 2024, we'll continue to add generationally improved features, all made possible by the combination of the new cryengine and the increased minimum supported specs. A complete UI overhaul is also underway as part of the engine upgrade. This overhaul refactors every screen in the game. A strong emphasis has been placed on navigation and readability for both mouse and keyboard, as well as gamepad controller users.
So this was, I remember, so I used to play console when I first started playing the game. I now play PC, but one of the things that I remember thinking very early on, especially on console, was this was a UI made for the PC, and it is. And even then, for the PC, it's not the best UI in the world. It can be a little bit clunky. So getting a entire UI UX upgrade is great. I look forward to seeing what it looks like.
In early review, we see that it's a significant improvement, and we are eager to get it published for you all. Those are all the major points that we wanted to catch up on today. As events and features get closer to launching, we'll be back with more detailed discussions and teasers for the hundreds of questions that are sure to follow. We're extremely grateful for the continuous growth and engagement the Hunt community has shown with every major update. Your feedback, commitment, and passion for Hunt are the key force driving the franchise forward. We are honored to be on this road with you all, and we look forward to many years ahead.
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited. Obviously, with the event coming up, and also these updates. I mean, Map 4, I can't wait for Map 4, and a complete new biome. I know I've got hopes myself. I kind of want to see like a Wild West kind of town, city, big area. Or like half the map is like the city, and then going into the outskirts. You know, I mean, for me, you know, one of the things I kind of really want to see, I would love to see like New Orleans as a map. Just straight up New Orleans as a map, or like New Orleans and like the outskirts. But like the early days of New Orleans. So we're looking at a lakeside, Wild West town stroke city. This just bustling area is just becoming completely torn apart by zombies, and you could have multiple complexes in the city and things like that. I think that could be really, really cool. And it's something that I would love to see. I have a funny feeling, though, they're going to go way more up north and start looking at things like snowy areas or colder areas, just because we've got a lot of the kind of, the swamps and the plain kind of lands and things like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with that, but I'm really hoping for like a city area. I think that'd be super cool. Loads of places to run around in short areas, and maybe there's some like there could be some really nice like closed off areas for like, you know, short range play, shotgun play, all that kind of thing, but then also some really great sniper or like long range views down like long roads and things like that. And I think it could be really, really cool. And you heard that here first. I'm hoping for New Orleans. I think that just could be a really cool shout. But yeah, we'll have to see. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about the updated roadmap, but also, are you excited for the event? Tides of Corruption, it's coming. It's so soon. It's as of time of recording, it's like 3 days or 4 days or something like that. I will be playing as soon as it comes out, so I'm very much looking forward to it myself. Either way, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, may your hunts be bountiful. Oh, also don't sneak up onto a complex and then start attacking dogs. Like, this is just what's going on here. Honestly, this was a game that I had while doing these recordings, and it just, yeah, it didn't go well. I missed all my shots. I just like here, like, what these shots? I just, in a second. When do I start shooting people? Oh, I go upstairs first. By all means, you're not going to see any kills here. You can turn off the video now. It's fine. You don't have to carry on. But if you want to see some dreadful shots, please keep watching, because it's just an embarrassment. See, there you go. Look. I'm doing everything. Like, there was someone there. Like, there was someone there. Am I letting this on to fill time? No. But my warm-up games are always like this. There you go. Look, there's someone running to the right behind this building. I went another one, and they kind of know I'm there. They kind of know I'm in this building. Every shot. And I just, yeah. And this is my gun as well. It's like, I'm using everything that's good for me, and just couldn't do it. Look at awful. I mean, granted, I should have been aiming out to the side there. Anyway, why are you still here watching? This is just me being terrible. And for some reason, I've kind of got hyper fixated on watching this dreadful performance. I haven't got one hit marker yet. See, I could hear some people on the left-hand side as well. I know he is. Still not a hit marker. Still not a hit marker. I decided to go out because I was like, nah, screw this. I'm getting frustrated. Close the gap. Still no hit marker. I've gone through so many bullets. This is not a performance I liked. Anyway, bye.